The Empire of Man are currently only a B+ tier faction when they really should be, as the poster boys, be hitting that A+ in their own stride, and the Thrones of Decay DLC is absolutely the chance to get them up to where they need to be. So welcome to Plot Armor. I've got 5 key headings and they're going to address the lords, the mechanics on the campaign map, as well as new skills and abilities that they can get on the battlefield, pulled from the rulebook. And before we even get started, this is an extra one here. We have the goddamn weapon the whole series is named after. What the hell, CA? Buff Galmaraz. This should have an aura which gives everyone around it bloody even 3 melee defense, as well as a massive boost to leadership. As well, 75, come on. Buff Galmaraz. Getting to point 1 is more faith. We need to be keeping the faith in the Empire. The biggest issue the Empire have come the late game is the ability to hold the line. The Empire certainly have the gunpowder, artillery and knights to take the enemy down, but when it comes to protecting these formations, these frontline holders really start to struggle come the late game. They need more buffs to keep them relevant. We just have so many strong threats now. The vampires used to not be too bad, but now when we've got heavily armored chaos warriors, demons, all manner of things that want to kill us, it's just very hard with all the tools at your disposal to push them back with basic spearmen and halberdiers. Now, I still want to use those units, but we need more faith-based abilities. Every army should have heroes that encourage you to bring one of each, that stack and layer up bonuses to make them able to hold. Currently, we see this achieved by the warrior priest, but we need a little bit more. So how do we achieve this? Well, first of all, looking at you, Empire Captain, you are absolute garbage. Give him some buffs that increase the effectiveness of the troops around. Even if it's only basic infantry, give them something to help hold that line. I absolutely love the idea of just riding around on horses with a couple of heroes, making sure that they go cheer on the troops. Julius Caesar used to do it, so many people have a hero on a griffin, fly them over, drop that buff and just cheer your troops on. I just love the idea of the Empire, and this plays more into that character. The argument against this is you just get hero balls, which are really hard to kill, but there's a way around this. Have 2 layers of buffs. The first is applicable to anything, that is maybe say +5 melee defense. Then there is an additional buff. If it is not a single unit, it gets say 10% physical resistance. Just a quick reminder guys, if you are enjoying the video, please consider liking and subscribing, it really helps out. Ask any question in the comments, I answer everything. And if you'd like to talk strategy, feel free to join the Discord. Cheers. Number 3 is the non-legendary lords and heroes and their mounts, by which I mean give these characters some goddamn mounts please. The High Elves just for showing up get to ride dragons and basically any manner of anything. The Archlectors could get their War Altar of Sigmar instead of a horse, but more importantly I would love more accessible the trademark Imperial Griffin. This is effectively the Bugatti of the elected count. Any character that is an elected count should be able to ride one of these if they are level 20. The Great Theogenist and Cathedral of Sigmar are adorned with this creature. This is the staple creature, and it is so hard to get them to appear basically anywhere, so I would love that. As for the non-legendary lord choices, I do not want the Grandmaster. Just need to accept the fact that this game favors casters, and unless you're going to buff units even more absurdly, it's just kind of the law of the land. I'm okay with that because it basically applies across all factions, so in that way it's balanced. Heroes can be excellent melee, but we need the Battle Wizard Lord variant. I would love to see that character on an Imperial Griffin, even if they have to be in an elected count slot to use it in the first place. Additionally, Karl Franz does get the Imperial Dragon in the end times, and I would like to see this be a single dragon mount that can be applied to anyone who is an elected count. The reason being is I kind of want to see Karl Franz on Deathclaw. I don't want to see him off that thing, but I also want the dragon, so why don't we just allow it to go to someone else? Maybe not that lore friendly, but it's not really lore shattering, and I mean we can get dragons manufactured by the thousands in Alt 1. I think we can make some concessions slide. The other mount I really want to see is the Demigryph Knight. I want to see every single lord hero variant be able to mount one of these. Again, completely iconic and tied purely to the Empire. This should be one of the beasts that they are tied to, just like Kislev and their bears. And guess where they are? I'll show you. They come from right here. Don't tell me they can't find one. you can find a goddamn Demigryph Knight. It's just outside the front goddamn door. So please, Demigryph Knights as a regular for the hero variants. Karl Franz is obsessed with animals. He has the Imperial. By giving the Empire's characters good mount options above horses, particularly for the melee variants, this will power them up more than anything else. It'll mean captains are actually useful because they're not getting beaten up on horses or Pegasus. See my skill point video that there are two types of mount. One is a light nimble mount suitable for casters, the other is a big heavy hitter, and the Empire have a lot of melee centric characters without that heavy hitting mount. So Demigryph Knights, Imperial Griffins, let's see more of them. Next up we have the Elector Count mechanic, which many people are calling on a rework for. Some think that it's terrible. It's actually pretty damn good if you know how to use it, but learning how to use it, you've probably won your first campaign by the time you've made heads or tails of it. Essentially, each Elector Count will have a fealty rating. This is increased by improving relations by a couple, and often picking one side over the other when they have altercations. Problem is, it takes a bit of knowledge to make sure they don't fight with each other and have your empire crumble apart, so a more clear and concise system would be very, very welcome here, but more importantly, it'd be really great if the Confederation was something you build up to and can activate in your own time, but that's a minor grievance. Overall, just a more clear system for new players, but overall it is quite good. You can't declare war on these guys, which is really good because new players love to fight everything, and despite it being a long-term poor strategy. What we really need is a use for this currency after you've completed confederating everyone. Being able to use prestige to purchase Elector Count state troops would be a really good use of this resource, and it wouldn't die out come the end of the game. The current system just really punishes players for being new at the game and not understanding how Imperial authority works. It's very hard for them to work out how to confederate, the timing of it, and more importantly, how to avoid losing Imperial authority. It's treated as a very advanced system which requires a lot of foresight, which isn't really what you want. It would also be very cool if Vlad could interact with the system and become an Elector Count in his own right. It would also be great to have more transparent options over ordering your electors, where to go, what to do, and who to defend without it costing you anything. I believe a perk of the system should be anyone who has over a prestige, you should be able to influence to attack, defend, or occupy settlements without any charge. While we're on the topic of Imperial authority, a lot of people are clamoring for Balthazar Gelt to no longer be an Elector Count. Perhaps he can still stay there, but his mission should absolutely be centered around the College of Magics, and I would probably just change him so he's more chasing down maybe mages to join his College of Magics. I don't think it would take too many resources for CA to formulate a brand new campaign centered around finding new people to join the college, as well as relics and powerful items that will be part of that. Alright, now we're getting to the spicy stuff. We're going to talk about the new lords, legendary, and the new heroes that they can add in. So, number 4, we're first going to look at the FLC potential. That's right, I still live in the hope that we can have FLC and that CA might go this way. If not with the Empire, when are you going to do it? So this is what I would do to make the Empire great again. Let's have a look. So where do we have legendary lords? In my opinion, they can only be located in the following places. We have Emperor Karl Franz here, we have Marcus here, the crazy horse lord in Averland, we have currently Balthazar Gelt in Solent. I think if they do fill us out, they should move him on, but for now he's fine. We'll have Elspeth in Wissenland, and of course Boris Todbringer in Midland. The best thing is Boris is already in the goddamn game. We have the assets, all we need to do is just build him a faction. It can function the exact same way as Karl Franz's, but this is more than just an opportunity for a new campaign. For those that don't know, the Empire has two religions, effectively, well, two gods. You have Sigmar and Ulrich. Across the northern areas you will see more Ulrich worship, which means we can center this FLC around Boris Todbringer. Now when I say FLC, I'm really meaning the campaign and him already there, so I think asking for maybe 2 units isn't asking too much. First of all, we could have a warrior priest of Ulrich, functioning virtually the same. It would mean making a new asset, but we could have some different buffs on that character, which again could synergize quite nicely. Knights are relatively easy to make, so I would give a second state troop to Midland, make him special like that, and have the Knights of the White Wolf. Additionally, to help them out on the ground, an actual brand new proper unit could be the Teutonian Guard. Basically heavy infantry with hammers. It would obviously fill a long needed slot in the Empire roster, so that that's the FLC number 4. We have 2 legendary heroes, which I don't think fit in the DLC here, but if I had unlimited requests, I would give each one of the lords their own legendary hero. For Karl Franz, it could be none other than the Emperor's Sword of Justice. Ludwig Schwarzhelm, a bearded burly front line holder, very, very welcome. Volkmar the Grim, I would have Luthor Haas as a legendary hero to back him up. A warrior priest, prophet of Sigma, he is so uptight and zealous about killing heretics, even Volkmar probably gets nervous sometimes. Now section 5 is the legendary lords that I do think that we're going to get. There are only 2 options of lord pack that I do see, and I'm going to go with the one I don't think it is first, just to mix it up a bit, and of course it would be Marius Leitdorf leading Averland. A flamboyant count so crazy he converses with his horse, seeking strategy from it, and sometimes it works. I absolutely love this character. He's quite possibly my favorite Empire character. I don't think he'll make the cut this time, but with him, of course, we could see some more cavalry-based units, and I think if we were to bring in the Grandmaster, this is where we would see it. We have a melee lord, it can fly a griffin, I don't need others that can't. With him, I would package the legendary hero, the Grand Marshal of the Reichsguard, Kurt Helborg. This would be amazing, particularly to pair with Karl Franz and stack some incredible bonuses onto those Reichsguard, which are already pretty beefy, or simply have a second detachment of a second army and have 2 lots of amazing Reichsguard across your empire. Finally, the last component, which is what I do believe will be the upcoming component for the Empire in the Thrones of Decay DLC, and that is Elspeth von Draken, situated in here in Wissenland in Nuln, and she of course has an infamous rivalry with Temokan, the Nurgle Maggot Lord, and this is just too easy for them not to cash in. They know the fans want lore-friendly matchups, and this is handed to them straight on a platter. She flies on a dragon, can melt all sorts with it. She is going to be a very popular lord choice and a very powerful lord on a strong mount, which, as you know, will definitely give them some bite in this corner here. If they do drop Temokan around this area, it's going to add probably some much needed spice to this area of the map, and it's probably going to mean we need a Bretonia buff sooner than later, but let's not worry about that. For her legendary hero, she will get Theodore Bruckner, a mighty Chad who rides on a demigriff. Enough said. She would introduce the Master Engineer hero. I'd rather one of the legendary heroes instead, but this will be quite nice. Obviously buffing artillery, the more heroes the better, why not? Probably will also provide some ammunition for your gunpowder. I would use the Hochland Longfires, essentially long-range sniper rifles. They fit nicely in your formations, adding even more long-distance gunpowder, and we all know we want more of that. The Nuln Ironsides will give even more punch to the Empire gun lines, and in the center of these formations you'll have the Celestial Hurricanum, another contraption similar to the Luminarch, but this also provides some area of effect buffs to your units, which, as I said at the beginning of the video, is what I love the Empire doing, getting the everyday man and give them enough faith, equipment and training to become something truly incredible, and having one of these in the center of your formations will undoubtedly help you punch up. Having Nuln Ironsides to shred the enemy armor, the Hurricanum will certainly have several bound spells to help dissolve the enemy. And that's my speculation on the upcoming Thrones of Decay for the Empire. I hope you've enjoyed it. If I've missed anything or got something wrong, please let me know in the comments and just let us know how you're doing and if you are hyped for this next release. This is Alvin, and I'll catch you next time.